All immigration analysts of the world are talking about Canada, USA, UK, that immigrants are decreasing. Nobody is talking about Australia capping. Australia capping is less discussion and less under discussion in all over the world. Of course, some people are discussing, but it's most burning issue in 2025. We are discussing so much Canada 2025 immigration, but I think Australia 2025 immigration is more severe than Canada. Whole world is closing for overseas migrants. Australian immigration system completely shaken up in 2024. It's very difficult that they will increase the numbers of the migrants in 2025, and cutting of the migrants, including students, skilled workers, will continue. Why it is happening, and why Australia is so much serious to remove migrants from Australia? Why Australia is so much serious to compensate their own workers to give jobs, and they are not taking risk of inviting overseas workers in 2025? Significant reduction of student visas we have already seen in last 3 months, in which copy paste refusals of Australia was the key word in social media. Visa officer was not assessing even applications, and they were refusing by copy paste that your political condition of your own country is not good and you are not eligible. Even universities management, university CEO were talking with immigration officers. We assessed that student by all way. Our way of assessment is more superior even that immigration system. His bank statement, documents, personal interview, GST, GET, VGST, and all old rules and all previous rule, GST current rule, GTE previous rule, we have assessed, and never happened that we university issue COE to any student visa is being refused in any example, very less example. Australian immigration system left in past years, but now currently universities of COE visas were refused, and university management claimed so much. Why Australia in 2025 is going to more reduced number of students, is going to more reduced skilled workers, and shaken up immigration system, I will let you inform. I think Canada, Australia is going at same parallel level. Both vehicles are going at same level. Canada reasons are also same. Australia reasons are also same. Canada is also talking about housing crisis, and Australia also. I think Australia has more severe crisis of housing even than Canada. And Australia also talking about health services, and Canada is also talking about quality health services they are not able to provide to their own citizens. Australia is also claiming this one, and Canadians are also claiming that their taxes are not being used for themselves, and their taxes are being used to accommodate migrants who are coming from other countries, and they did not get their nationality even in Canada. They belong to other countries, and they are using our resources, and we are not getting true quality health service. Australian migrant is also telling this one. Another similarity between Canada and Australia in 2025, I will capture the immigration story of Australia 2025 in the last of the clip, but before that I'm just making synergistic relationship of Canada and Australia. That is the election of Australia is also due, election of Canada is also due. Canadian Prime Minister knew that I will get vote from Australian national. Canadian Prime Minister Justin also know that I will get from Canadian national. Migrants are not able to vote me. So why I favor migrant? Because I am not Prime Minister due to the migrants. That is the reason Prime Minister of Australia was so harsh in speaking against Muslims. He told that Muslim extremists, I'm not talking about ordinary Muslims, normal Muslims, he was talking about extremists, that they will never be allowed to enter into Australia. Such word from Australian Prime Minister, compelling visa officer to refuse most of applications of the Muslims, even they are not extremists. because when Prime Minister is setting standard for migration department need to follow those rules and regulations. Australian immigration minister was charged that his policies were not good and he was doing some fake statements, and those rules were also not being implemented properly in Australia. Australian subclasses system are very powerful system of immigration ever in the world. But first time I saw the subclass system is also failed. We saw recently 491 subclass, which is technically a way by which you can switch your work permit to permanent residence, and especially for those Australians who are trapped in Australia, they want to get migration, they want to get permanent residence, they got chance by 491, but only one or two states, NSW, New South Wales, and one another state only allowed until now the Australian migrants to go for permanent residence. Where are other states? Similarly, students are bind that they can't change their courses. Similarly, the students who almost entered in Australia and they did not complete their education, almost they are getting deportation letter. The students who did complete their education, they are feeling difficulty in getting work permits. Consultants are sending them, and most of colleges of Australia, which I am going to highlight in this clip, they are not bound to enroll students from Asian countries. I give you example of group colleges of Australia is banned to get admission from Asian countries, because this college was more popular college among Asian students, having less fee and doing courses in BBA and MBA. Now currently all these scenarios are making immigration more tight in 2025. Now I will speak some hopeful factors of Australia in 2025. Might be after elections, new government rethink about migration plan. Positivity of Australian migration system in 2025, which is now currently looking shaken, because migration system, their numbers of migrants which they set for 2025 and their plans for 2025 are not absolutely in favor of immigrants. But new government may rethink, because positivity, I am sharing some construction companies owner. I remember one construction company owner, which is a female. She claimed to government and migration department, she got contracted to build houses in Australia. In Australia, having severe housing crisis and all cuts capping on migrants, the government officers, prime minister, ministers, officials of migration are referring that this all is due to housing crisis, and they are blaming students, they are blaming skilled workers, they are blaming almost all Canadian Australian migrants who took their place, and Australian nationals also suffering in getting houses in Australia. Such the female, which is a CEO, I am not naming due to the security, she blamed migration department, she blamed Prime Minister of Australia, she blamed current government that if you have given me contract to build houses, I can build houses only when you will give me labor, and I want to invite laborers, but you are closing skilled workers, you are making more tight skilled workers. She claimed that if you will not open skilled workers, we will not be able to fulfill the standards of housing, and we will not be able to fulfill the targets of the housing which you assigned us, allocated us. Companies in Australia are given compensation to build houses, because Australia, like Canada, is aware that they are going into a huge crisis when people will not get their house. Definitely they will claim, and that election game of Australia also depending upon migrants. These three countries, United States, four countries, US, Canada, Australia, UK. Now in elections they are not fighting for other options. They are not fighting for other topics, they are fighting on immigration. Recently, immigration topic declared at number one at US election between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Australia so far has bad news for migrants in 2025, but I am expecting a lot from new government, I'm expecting a lot from the company's owner who are claiming. I'm expecting a lot from Australian society. I'm expecting a lot from Australian Sky News channel and top researcher thinker, which think that if overseas workers will not come, they will not be successful professionally. And Australia GDP ratio, lack of the students who pay fee 3 to 4 times more than normal Australian citizens, all people will suffer. Thank you very much.